Dear learners, greetings again. Here in this session, we will start to discuss the second lesson on organizing. In this part, we will discuss about the contingency factors, traditional organizational design, and the organizing for the 20th century. So let's start our discussion one by one. First one is the contingency factors affecting the structural choice. In the first chapter, we have learned about the word contingency. That means the situation that is not come to the point before giving any signal. So at that situation, company have to take some decisions that is not actually going on regular basis. So there is 4 factors. Contingency factors affect the organizational structure, strategy, size, technology, and environment. So let's see one by one how these factors affect the organizational structure. First of all, overall strategy, size, technology, and the environmental uncertainty. So number 1 is the strategy and structure. So here we have to know what is strategy. Actually, strategy is a game plan or technique which provide a competitive advantage to the organization to stay in the competition. So based on the strategy, different strategy, organization have to follow different types of structure. For example, example is given here. If the company have the strategy to innovate new product or innovating features in nature, they have to follow organic structure, because in the organic structure or for innovating something, they need something flexible, because they cannot fix something before. Innovation may certainly, or it may took long time. So that required flow of information from different angle. So if it is the organic structure, it will be helpful for the organizations to do something irregular that is related with the innovation. But on the other hand, if the company follow some strategy that is something defensive in nature, like the cost control, so in that case the organization have to follow the mechanistic structure, and for this tight control they requires formal rules, regulations, everything that is related with the mechanistic structure. So based on the strategy of the organization, they have to design their structure. Second one, size and the structure. So as we have learned before, if the organizational size is large, at the time they have to introduce different formal rules, regulations to maintain the discipline within the organization. At the time they have to follow the mechanistic structure. On the other hand, if the organization size is small, they have to overcome the boundary of formal rules, regulations, and at the time organic structure is highly suitable. Technology and structure. We know technology is a method, techniques, or mode by which an organization produce its products and services. So their structure also depends on the technology they use for production. Generally, Woodwards classify the production technology into 3 parts. Unit production, which produce single unit product like automobile or something like that car. Some organizations produce a large amount of product in one particular time, and that is mass production. And after that they produce new types of product. And another one is the process production. It means that an organizations continuously produce similar kind of products. So for these three technological design, the organizational structure shall be different. Like for example, here is given for the unique production. If the company produce single unit of product, like for example, automobiles or a large product, at the time they need low vertical differentiation, low horizontal differentiation, and low formalization, and that should be organic in nature, because they are producing single unit of product. They don't need to follow any complex rules and regulations. And gradually, if they improve their production from unit production to mass production, they have to produce many product at a time. At the time they need some differentiation, like production, marketing, HR, research and development. They have to follow the division of labor, and they have to introduce formal rules, regulations. At the time, mechanistic structure is highly suitable. And for the process production means regularly they are producing similar kind of products. They don't differentiate their production process based on the time. So they need differentiation strategy, and they need formalization, as well as they have to follow the organic structure. So in summary, we can say that if the company follows some routine technology, they have to follow the mechanistic organizational structure. If the job nature is non-routine technology, they have to follow organic organizational structure. Environmental uncertainty and the structure. So environment means the factors directly or indirectly affect the organizational decisions, that called environment. And the factors that affect the organizational decision, mostly the outside the organizations. There are some factors that is not controllable. They may change automatically, like economic situation, political situation, new technology. At the time, the organization should change their structure. Mechanistic organizational structure tend to be most effective in stable and simple environment. That means if the organizations they don't face any uncertain events or any uncertain changes, they can follow the mechanistic structure. They will always can rely on formal rules and regulations. But if the environment is changing in nature, frequently economic structure, political structure, technological structure changes, they have to follow their change their rules and regulations also. They have to update their activities, and frequently they have to change their movement. At the time, organic structure is highly suitable. So that are the factors we have discussed. Now we will discuss about some issue relating to traditional organizational design. Generally what we have seen in the organization, it might be simple structure, it might be functional structure, it might be divisional structure. So traditional design. Simple structure. Simple structure means low departmentalization, wide span of control, and centralized authority, and little formalizations. So that are the main features of the simple structure. But if it is functional structure, they require departmentalization by each function, like for operations department, finance department, human resource department, product and research and development department. Based on functional area, they have to apply division of labor strategy. They have to separate the activity. They have to employ specialists for each department. And finally, divisional structure composed of separate business units or division with limited autonomy under the coordination and control the parent company. Like for example, an organizations may have different types of business, like group of business. They are producing manufacturing product, they are producing service product. So if they have different types of concern under one company, they have to follow the divisional structure. And for every separate business, they have to address separate management structure. So there are the common organizational design and the strength and weakness of the traditional design. Like for example, simple structure. What is the strength? As it is simple, they can be fast, flexible and inexpensive to maintain, and there is a good chance to maintain the accountability. But there is a problem, weakness: no appropriate organizations grows. Reliance on one person is risky. It means that simple structure is not always effective because organizations have the target to grow up their business. As long as they have the plan to grow up their business, they have to shift their simple structure to other structure. Functional structure, the strength is cost saving advantages from specialization. As we told before, functional structure, they appoint a specialist, and the specialists have the ability to perform better from other organization like simple structure. But there is a problem also, weakness. uh, Functional structure pursuit of functional goals can cause managers to lose sight of what's best for overall organization. Sometimes it is said that functional manager, they try to achieve their departmental goals by sacrificing the organizational goals. Even sometimes they forget what is the overall organizational goals. They try to focus on their own goal, so sometimes it is conflicting. And divisional structure, the strength is focus on the result. So division managers are responsible for what happens to their product or services. As they separate their business, they make the separate administration, and this separate administration can take their own decision. And if they can introduce new types of technique, new types of technology, they can be successful in their own field. But the problem is that duplication of activities and resources increase cost and resource efficiency. As they separate their business and they're introducing different types of management structure, sometimes similar types of resources may require both the organizations. At the time, they have to invest for both the division, which may sometimes costly. So that are the strength and weakness of the traditional organizational design. Now we will see some contemporary or flexible organizational design. Contemporary means the structure now following the advanced world or following by newly advanced technological organization. So there is 6 contemporary organizational design we will study here. One is team, second matrix and project, third boundaryless organizations, 4 telecommunicating, 5 compressed work week, and 6 contingent workforce. So let's see one by one. Team, what is it? A structure in which entire organization is made up of work groups or team. That means there is no divisional structure, there is no specialization. Some expert from different department come together to conduct their job. There are some advantage and disadvantage of the team structure also. The advantages naturally promote robust communication. As the people coming to work in a single team, there is no barrier to communicate with each other. They can share any information at any time, so they can make a robust communication. Second one, regular team meeting and open dialogue become the norm and paving the way for clear, concise and effective communication. As one team is working in the organization, they can meet anytime and they are open to share any types of sorts of information, so they can share new idea at any time. Multi-skill team employees are more involved and empowered. Reduced barrier among the functional area. As we told before, a different expert may come to the single point or one single team to make the differences. So if the expert from different area come together, definitely they can produce better goods and services for the organization. But there are sometimes some problem also with the team, as many people working from different part and they have different expertise. Who will guide to whom and who will order to whom, it's not clear sometimes at the team. So that might create some problem. There is an absence of chain of command. Second one is matrix project structure. So matrix and project structure. Matrix means people from coming from different types of organizations or different field. Project is a structure in which employees continuously work on a project. As one project is completed, employees move to the next project. Project is basically temporary in nature. The people come together to work to finish some job, and after finishing they just send to their original position. And the matrix structure is assigned specialists from different functional area to work on a project, but who return to their areas when the project is completed. So matrix structure means, for example, from marketing department, one expert come from marketing department, one expert come from research and development department, one expert come from management department, one expert come from HR department, and by coming all the expert, they make or form a team. And this team, if they complete their job, they return to their own position. There are some advantages of matrix project. Fluid and flexible design that can respond to environmental changes, faster decision making. As people come from different department and they're expert in their own field, they can take quick decision. But the problem is that the project there sometimes create a role conflict, because all the people are expert in their own field. Sometimes the differences in opinion may create problem. Boundaryless organizational structure. What is this? A structure that is not defined by or limited to artificial, horizontal, vertical, or external boundaries, includes virtual and network types organizations. That means they don't have any formal office, they don't have any formal rules and regulations or organizations. People from different parts come together virtually to conduct some job. The advantage is that highly flexible and responsive. How? Because people may work from home, people may work from anywhere, so they are flexible enough to do their own job by their own way. But the problem is that as people are working from different part, different point, different locations, there is a bit of problem to control their activities, and sometimes it creates the communication problem also. Forms of boundaryless organizations. There are three forms of boundaryless organization exist. First one is virtual organizations. People meet in the online. People stay in the different part or different city of the country, or even in the different country also. From the different part, they come together through online to meet, to share their opinion. Task force. Task force means a temporary committee or team formed to tackle a specific short-term problem affecting several departments. So task force is a committee or team which is formed to solve a particular problem. If they solve the problem, they leave from that committee. Open innovation. Opening up the search for new ideas beyond the organization's boundaries and allowing innovations to easily transfer inward and outward. Open innovation means like they come to form a team and they share their opinion, and after producing or taking decisions, they can go through their own office or own position. Telecommuting. Telecommuting is a work arrangement in which employees work at home and are linked to workplace by computer. Needless to say, not every job is a candidate for telecommuting, but many are. People conversate, people communicate by using phone or telecommunications, and they can complete their job. Compressed work weeks, flex time, and job sharing. So compressed work week means a work week where employees work longer hours per day but fewer days per week. So compressed work week means generally we used to see that people used to work 5 days or 6 days in a week, and 8 to 9 hours generally we can see. But if the organizations or the employee take decisions that they will do extra 3 to 4 hours every day, and they will just come to the office 3 to 4 days, the remaining 2-3 days they will take as a vacation, as they are working more in the regular day. Flex time or flexible work hours, a scheduling system in which employees are required to work specific number of hours a week but are free to vary those hours within certain limits. These types of people work 3 to 4 hours a particular day, and there is a flexibility. They can work in the morning, they can work at noon, they can work at evening, or even they can work at night also. That is called flex time. Job sharing, the practice of having 2 or more people split a full-time job. Generally we used to see that in a full-time job a person is doing a job in a whole day, whole week. But if this is job sharing in nature, one person is doing one day, other person is doing same job in other day, or one person is doing in the morning, other person is coming in the evening. So they are sharing day or hour or week for doing a particular job. That is called job sharing. And finally, contingent workforce. The contingent workforce means temporary, freelance, or contract workers whose employment is contingent on demand for their services. These people are temporarily appointed in the organizations, and after completing their job they leave from the organization. So that are the main topic we had to discuss in chapter organizing in lesson 2. Here we will see the terms, basic terms that we have completed in this chapter. You have to know about this term well. Okay, that's all. There's some more, and these are the summary we have completed in lesson 1 and lesson 2. The content we have discussed is showing now here. So that's all for this chapter, organizing. I hope our learners will get a basic idea about organizing and different concept of organizing, and they will be able to apply this concept in their decision making or in their practical life also. So that's all for today. Thank you for your patience.